Article 218 of the Indian Constitution establishes that certain provisions applicable to the Supreme Court are also applicable to the High Courts. Specifically, it refers to clauses 4 and 5 of Article 124 and states that these provisions will apply to High Courts with necessary substitutions. Here's a breakdown of what this means. Article 124 clauses 4 and 5. These clauses relate to the process for removing a judge from office and the investigation into their behavior. Here's what each clause contains. Clause 4. It details the procedure for the removal of a judge. It states that a judge of the Supreme Court can be removed from their office by an order of the President passed after an address by each House of Parliament supported by a majority of the total membership of that House and by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. This address must be presented to the President in the same session for the judge's removal on the ground of proved misbehavior or incapacity. Clause 5. It provides that Parliament may by law regulate the procedure for the presentation of an address and for the investigation and proof of the misbehavior or incapacity of a judge. Application to High Courts. Article 218 states that these provisions, clauses 4 and 5 of Article 124, will apply to High Courts in the same way they apply to the Supreme Court but with the necessary substitution. This means, whenever Supreme Court is mentioned in these clauses, it should be read as High Court when applying these clauses to High Courts. The process and grounds for removal, as well as the legislative regulation of this process, will thus be the same for judges of the High Courts as they are for judges of the Supreme Court, ensuring a consistent and uniform procedure across the judiciary. In summary, Article 218 ensures that the same rigorous process and standards for the removal and investigation of judges, as specified for the Supreme Court, are also applicable to the High Courts, with appropriate substitutions. The Constitution of India. Part 6. The States. Chapter 5. The High Courts in the States. Article 218. Application of certain provisions relating to Supreme Court to High Courts. The provisions of clauses 4 and 5 of Article 124 shall apply in relation to a High Court as they apply in relation to the Supreme Court, with the substitution of references to the High Court for references to the Supreme Court.